This is a story about redemption. But first, we need to turn back the clock to last season's draft, and it all begins on... Welcome to Season 7 of the EPL Draft League. Now, what is a Draft League? Well, as the Jote Pokéaim describes it,
it's a format where players called coaches draft teams of unique Pokemon and battle each other weekly until one coach is crowned the champion.
However, this EPL season takes a unique spin on Generation 9 drafts. This is in a team format where 3 coaches are assigned a team. Each week, teams are pitted against each other with each coach playing their weekly matches normal. However, the team that wins the majority of those 3 matches wins the week. And this season, I came to win. I joined up with 2 fantastic players, Vinit and Josh, as part of the Aura Trio. I positioned myself as the second frag and decided to draft an archetype I was quite familiar with, Rain, but with a little bit of a twist. I drafted an all-star lineup: Iron Treads, Clefable, Zarude, Thunderous Therian, Dragonite, Pelipper, Arascuda, Porygon 2, Fortress, who can Terra into a fighting water or ghost type, and lastly, my primary Terra captain, Terra Ghost Basculegion. In this format, I get access to both male and female Basculegion, who have different stat spreads. With the team laid out, it's time to get into the weekly matches. Week 1. I'm up against Devin, member of the Ultra Beastie Boys. This is so hype. I'm so excited to try out my new team, and I lost. Okay, no matter. Let's shrug it off and move on to week 2 versus Thomas, member of Smokin' on the Oberpack, and I lost again. Week 3, week 4, week 5, loss. I wasn't the second frag, I was the bottom frag. Worse, I wasn't even carrying my own weight, and I was letting the team down and losing to players I had never lost to before. Something had to change. Unfortunately for me, due to scheduling errors, my week 6 and 7 match were postponed to week 7 and 8. Enter Pinkacross. Pinkacross is one of the most talented team builders and ladder players in the world. But for me, his YouTube videos and streams helped reframe the game in a new light. Not only did I learn new and better methods of prepping, such as saving my mock games, taking notes on what works and what needs changing, and keeping old team builds. Specifically, his content on using rain teams helped a ton. I used this time to really connect with my brand new team. Oh, that's right, I totally forgot to mention, but because the team clearly needed a rework, between weeks 3 and 4, I made some major overhauls. I played with the idea of replacing Rain with the bargain bin scraps left on the draft table, but my good friend Dylan had this crazy revelation. So, that's what I did. Say goodbye to Fortress, Dragonite, Porygon 2, and Zarude. And say hello to Garchomp, Overquill, Meloetta, and my brand new Terra captain, Articuno, with the Terra's Ground, Steel, and Dragon. With the break over, it was finally time for my week 6 match. But unfortunately... Wait a second. I actually managed to win? No, not just that. I managed to win with a +4 differential. Week 7, victory. our team makes it all the way to playoffs. Playoffs round 1, victory. Grand finals, and things are finally turning around. Despite being the underdog, Vinit clutches it out for our team. This could be it. If we win the season. But if we lose, it all comes down to me. It was over. The Aura Trio wins the season, crowning 3 champions, Josh picking up his second EPL season win, and Vinit and I nabbing our first. Now, don't get me wrong, it was super hype to watch Josh win and secure us that victory. However, it did make my match a little anticlimactic. I mean, we already won, right? Well, yeah, but actually no. We won the season, but I have yet to prove myself. I need to show why I deserve to stand on the podium alongside my amazing teammates. Let's do this. I won. A 0-5 record turned into a 4-5 record with some pretty solid wins. And fun fact, including playoffs, Bastia Legion went 20-6 in 9 games. Hot damn, I love that fish.
Oh, no.
And that may seem like the end to our story, but that's where you'd be wrong. You see, as Season 7 winded down, rumors of Season 8 began bubbling. And as the season was formally unveiled, it was announced to be in the National Dex format. Now, since Season 3, I've taken a one-on, one-off approach to avoid burnout. I played Seasons 1 to 3, skipped 4, played 5, skipped 6, played 7. But this time was different. Because remember Pinkacross? Well, watching his streams gave me a newfound appreciation for National Dex. I could not miss out on the chance to play this format. That is 1,000 times better than the standard Gen 9 format, by the way. So...
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Welcome to Season 8. No longer in the teams format, it was every man for himself. I grinded for the perfect draft. I used Pikalytics and considered every single option. I mean, what's good? What works well with each other? And what noob traps do I need to avoid? So, here's the draft I came up with. Mega Diancie, Alola, Terapagos, Meowscarada, Moltres, Zygarde 50%, Aegislash, Pikachu, Smeargle, and finally, we have Machamp. Actually, put a pin in that one. It turns out you really should have a grounded poison type. So, after week 1, I booted Machamp off the team. Sorry, bud. But it's okay. Everyone welcome Toxicroak to the squad. All right, let's briefly go through each week and see what went down. Remember Mark? You know, that guy I just played at the end of last season? Yeah, well, we had to run it back in week 1. And let's just say, somebody got farmed damn hard. Me. It was me, I got farmed. So, I lost week 1. But honestly, I was really not too worried. I mean, it sucks, but let's be real here. He is the better player. And hey, fun fact, in Season 5, I also lost my week 1 match, but then proceeded to win every single match up until Grand Finals. In my opinion, a week 1 loss doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme. It kind of comes with the territory of trying to understand your new draft. Week 2, I was up against Devin, and week 3, I played Emmett. Both had really scary teams, but I managed to claw my way to victory. Week 4 sees me playing Noah, captain of the Shanghai Superiors. And this one means a lot, because I have never beat Noah. I really respect him as a player, and I desperately wanted to win this. So I grinded mock battle after mock battle, and the day the match came, I played my heart out. And I managed to barely squeak out a victory. Week 5, I was up against Sam, and week 6 followed with a match against Dylan. These guys were wild cards, with crazy strong teams that really challenged my team building and playing skills. Fortunately, I managed to win both matches, bringing my record up to... Here's the part of our story where I need to introduce a crucial piece of information. Every season, I place myself under a handicap. I force myself to bring every Pokemon I draft to at least one match. Why do I do this exactly? Well, I think all drafted Pokemon deserve a chance to shine. I mean, even the shittiest shitmons can surprise you. Plus, it's a fun challenge that really tests your team building skills. At this point in the season, I brought every single Pokemon, except for 2, Pikachu and Smeargle. Since I was guaranteed to make playoffs, I decided now was a good time to unleash Pikachu. And that would leave Smeargle, who I figured surely would find a time to shine in at least one playoff match. Right? Right? Anyways, as for this week's match, I was up against the fierce opponent, Kunle. I'm so sorry if I said that incorrectly. Anyways, The match was a real slobber knocker, and it came down to the wire. All thanks to Pikachu. Kinda. Maybe. Not really. Here we go. It's time for the playoffs, and as the 3rd seed in Pool B, I was up against the 6th seed in Pool A. I wonder who that might be. Oh God. No, surely this is a mistake, right? I mean, there's gotta be an error. There's no way I can be playing. Do you remember earlier when I said this? And hey, fun fact, in Season 5, I also lost my Week 1 match, but then proceeded to win every single match up until Grand Finals. You know who beat me in Grand Finals? Max, coach of the Bethesda Beedrills. And who is Max, you might be asking? Oh, don't worry, he's nobody important. He's only the winner of 4 of the 7 EPL draft leagues. You want to know another fun fact about Max? Every single game we've played has ended in a loss for me. I already mentioned Season 5, but what about Season 3 where I lost? Oh, maybe to spice it up, we can talk about Season 1 where I lost to him twice. I've played him 4 times, and my record is 0-4. I truly mean this when I say Max is the one person I did not want to play in bracket. But hey, I managed to beat Noah this season. Before that, I had never beaten him before. I mean, maybe I could pull another miracle and beat Max? Plus, people were claiming he was washed this season because he barely crawled into playoffs as his pool's bottom seed. But I knew better than to underestimate him. Well, there's only one thing left to do. Let's accept the challenge. But first, I do need to mention that I didn't bring Smeargle to this battle. Again, I wasn't too worried about it because, I mean, he'll just come to the next match after I win this one. But I do suppose that's easier said than done. Max leads with Heatran, and I get the sinking feeling he's scarfed with Flash Cannon. So I switch to my Alola-Mola, and my suspicion is proven true. We do a little bit of pivoting, and I finally get in my Breaker Zygarde. Now, I knew Zygarde was completely walled by Serena, but I had a special surprise. A toxic surprise. Unfortunately, Max came prepared with a Lumberry, forcing me to switch out in fear of Triple Axle. A few more turns progress, and I get a Spike Up and have my Endeavor Diancie in a position to threaten Ting-Lu. However, I switch to Alola-Mola because I know Pecharunt can easily switch in on the Endeavor. And this is where things go horribly wrong, and I make my first misplay of the match. You see, normally Zygarde should be faster than Pecharunt, but I was running Adamant Nature for that little bit of extra damage. You know, typically this doesn't matter, but Max was running offensive weakness policy Pecharunt. That means my Zygarde is actually slower than his Pecharunt, and I get scared out. But in hindsight, I probably should have just stayed in and spammed 1,000 arrows. Keeping Pecharunt low should have been more important than keeping Zygarde alive. However, Max gets a recover, he kills my Diancie, and he breaks my Terrapagos' Terra Shell, which is really, really bad. But not all hope is lost yet. I switch an Alola-Mola on Ting-Lu, which normally should be fine. However, Max knew that I loved slow, bulky Alola-Mola with Toxic. So, he brought Taunt Ting-Lu with enough speed to outspeed my minimum speed Fish. Max gets Stealth Rock up, and shortly after, turn 19 comes around, and I misplay again. I click U-turn on Meowscarada instead of Low Kick, and I get punished with a Flame Body Burn from Heatran. And all of a sudden, I'm on the back foot. I really need to make some big plays. So I switch in Zygarde and predict him to save his Heatran. So I click Toxic, and he stays in. Suddenly, a bad position turns even worse. Fortunately, Alola is a stupid Pokemon and can heal the team back to full. Turn 26 comes around and I have the opportunity to Toxic Serena, one of the only Pokemon standing in the way of my Zygarde and free kills. Turn 26, I miss Toxic. It's no biggie. Turn 28, I get another chance to click Toxic. However, Max reveals a second Lumberry, this time on Ting Lu. And at this point, my back foot is falling over the cliff. Some more turns progress, and we're trading Pokemon back and forth, arriving at turn 47. I have a Calm Mind boosted Terapagos in against his Choice Scarfed Heatran, and I switch out for safety. The game progresses, but at this point, it seems like I just don't have the pieces to break through Ting Lu and Serena. But it all comes down to turn 70. Max is down to his final Pokemon. If Terapagos can kill this Serena, then I can win and break the curse. I click Terra Starstorm and he lives. My Terapagos and Alola fall to the Serena. And that's it. Max wins for the 5th time in a row, and I'm knocked out of the league. How does one live with failure? I failed to get the run back on Max. I failed to go the distance and win the league. I failed my team of Pokemon that I really grew to love and appreciate. I failed my golden rule of bringing every Pokemon to at least one match. But worst of all, I failed myself. And I'll be honest, it took a few days of really sitting with the failure to come to terms with it. But I want to return to something I said at the very start of this video. This is a story about redemption. With that in mind, it raises a question. When does redemption end? This story is far from done. In fact, it's just being written. If the story spans 2 seasons, who says a 3rd can't be added? Plus, not everything is doom and gloom. I made great strides in how I approach the game, how I prep, and most importantly, how I battle. So, mark my words. The next draft league I play in, I will win. And if Smeargle is available, he'll be standing on the winner's podium right next to me.